watching the NWP podcast. You're watching the new one live. You're watching the NWP podcast. You're watching the new one live. You're watching the NWP podcast. You're watching the new one live. You're watching the NWP podcast. You're watching the new one live.
Good morning, nobody. Welcome to the New Watch. We'll take it from here. I'm Jimmy, and with us, as always, Mr. Tony York.
Where the fuck are we gonna take it from here?
To only up. I believe it can only go up from here.
Okay, I hope so. Good morning, people.
Yeah. How the hell are you? I'm kind of frazzled right now because I'm torn if I liked that song or not. I think I did.
It's something that you really have to watch video or notice.
The video goes with the song type shit.
Oh yes, unless you're already familiar with the event that song's talking about, and the importance of that particular event.
Yeah,
But
Sabaton.
That's describing an actual historic event that happened, and it's pretty damn right on too. I mean, except for the guys with hair down to their fucking waist.
Yeah, that probably
They would
wasn't the case.
Wouldn't have let that shit slide in the trenches.
Yeah, even in fucking Germany or Sweden or wherever, especially in Nazi Germany.
Swedes might have went forward.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That probably more laid back on their rules than the Nazis were, I'm sure.
The point of it is that video and performance is really, really good. And you have to listen to it all the way through the credits and to the end. It's important.
They have a Marvel post-credit scene?
No.
Oh, it's through the credits.
Right.
Okay.
There's musically stuff that goes on through the credits. And you should pick it out as soon as you hear it. Why I said that. But these guys do songs about history.
Strictly?
Damn near. Early on, they did some, titties and beer music, but I've never heard any of it. Everything I've ever heard is the history. And they've got songs about the Red Baron. They've got songs about, they got songs about my kin, man, Alvin York.
That's my favorite pizza, the Red Baron. My favorite microwavable pizza.
There's no such thing as microwavable pizza.
I beg to
Anybody
differ,
who thinks so is a faggot.
A faggot I am not, but fucking microwavable pizza is where it's at. You could put it in the oven. I think you're supposed to put it in the oven, I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
At any rate, they have a second, they have their band channel, and they have a second channel where they go into, they go with the historian into the historic event that they wrote the song about. And I said almost all fucking day yesterday watching those.
Yeah, I hear you. I can get caught up in like fucking binge watching people's channels and shit. Yeah.
Shit that I've never heard of. And I'm kind of a student of World War II.
Well, yeah, you never heard of it. It's coming from the Swedish perspective.
No. These guys are taking shit from all over the world. You ever heard of the World War II flying witches? Or night witches?
No, I've heard of Night Wish.
Squadron of nighttime bombers that were all women. I had heard of that. Not in the detail they give, but I'd heard that happened.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of shit.
What is their thing again? I might have to go check it out.
Uh,
It's just Saboteur or Sabaton.
Sabaton is the band, but there's
Sabaton does history.
hang on, it'll come up on my freaking feed. Sabaton history.
See, could it wasn't too fucking mind bending. I figured it out. Hold on. Sabaton
Oh,
history, and it's got a fucking camera reel, an old projector reel on it.
yep.
Subscribed. I'm subscribed just off of fucking Tony's word. The Unkillable Soldier, Soldier of Heaven, Christmas Truce, which is the one that I was just listening to.
Yeah, but that's the actual historic story of it, not the song.
And they're going into Judas Priest.
Well, metal's history too. More recent than World War II, but it's still history.
It's
Hey,
history.
Sean,
There's
that
history to
main
be
guy.
said. Yeah, definitely history. That's probably gonna be a good. I don't know. Like I don't know if it's gonna be good or not. Actually, now that I think about it, because I was about to say it out loud. Like he had to hide being gay from everybody that was metal, so they didn't call him gay, and it actually be true. But I don't know. I wasn't around in the '80s, so I fucking
Yeah, Sean knows about them women.
what the Judas Priest.
No, the Russian women who flew nighttime bomb runs.
Oh, I'm talking about fucking something else. I was talking about something fucking else.
These fucking women were flying open cockpit, old ass canvas wood biplanes at night in the fucking winter.
What?
Yeah,
Well, these were Russian bitches, right? I'm assuming big burly fucking stew-fed Russian bitches.
no idea. I think the pictures I seen didn't look that way.
Couldn't have been the hot ones. I'll tell you that much. Except for unless they train their women like immediately to not be complainers, that's fucking genius. That's genius.
Well, back then, complainers got fucking killed.
Yes, no complaining. Strike witches, which was a super hyperbole. They should have used a Y in strike. That would have been even a more badass group of motherfuckers.
More hyperbolic.
They'd turn the engines off and glide bomb for stealth too.
Yeah, I had seen one they did about the firebombing of Germany. Can't remember the name of the
Yeah.
town now. Uh,
You know how some men have problem with their women making more money than them? Can you imagine being one of their boyfriends and like, being the man that your woman is more of a hero than you?
uh, he wouldn't have never knew it until the war was over. Probably
Yeah.
they were like going out and flying 10 or 12 missions a fucking night.
Wait, what? That's rad. That's crazy.
I'm assuming they didn't have to fly too damn far to get to Germany. They were,
Well, they're right there, yeah. They're in Russia. This
yeah, they're in Russian. They were fighting the Germans that were trying to come in. They were harassing the fuck out of retreating ones and shit like that.
Yeah.
I kind of almost got a little wood when I heard that part.
You're stupid. Oh, the Japanese. Oh, Jimmy, you might be onto something. Yeah, no, early training. There doesn't even need to be any retraining if we get them early enough. Just start putting that shit on the news.
Well,
Women who complain don't fucking get married. Then they'll just turn into boys and fucking it'll just be that.
they,
Um, what?
they were under Stalin's control, so complain and get you fucking killed.
Yeah, well, that's that. That was that day. That back in them days. I'm talking about nowadays where we got to kind of be like woke and misogynistic, like hide the misogyny underneath our wokeness. I don't
But the bitch and be killed thing works way quicker,
know. Yeah,
and
that
it's
is
more
true.
permanent.
Yeah, it'll never happen again. You don't have to worry about the second or third strike. This summer, Gina Carano is the leader of Strike Witches. Move over, man. Yeah. Oh my God. Cause I fucking get bored and watch movies or play video games. I ain't been playing video games, so I've been watching fucking movies. And the remember how people used to complain about whitewashing shit? Like you would put a white guy in a Japanese character, or you'd put a white guy in fucking brown face paint to be an Indian or something. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
there was lots of white engines.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but nonetheless, they're doing that with girls now. Like a little fucking 120-pound girl that could jump up and kick a fucking 250-pound man, and he flies across. He doesn't grab her by the leg and throw her to the ground. He flies across the room. Like that type of
That's
shit. I fucking these them type of movies. Like I can only suspend my believability so much. You know, like it bothers me if it's a six shooter that shoots more than 10 rounds. That kind of gets to me from time to time, but I could ignore that kind of shit. But when you show me a little fucking girl that just got done fucking hip tossing, shoulder flipping a room full of guys, kicking them across the room, all that shit, it makes me I don't even want to watch the movie no more. I don't know where that
yeah.
came from, but it's what it is.
I'm feeling you was disappointed by a movie or two.
Hmm. Well, yeah. I wanted to like that gunpowder milkshake. You seen that yet?
No,
It's the female John Wick pretty much. I wanted to like that movie so fucking much.
fuck, I
Uh
ain't even seen John Wick.
yeah, I mean, you'll like it. I watched it a couple times. I watched the second one. I mean, I watched all of them, but the third one I only watched once. So there's that. But the first one and the second one I watched, they were all right.
What
First,
was wrong with the third one?
uh, it turned into fucking a big, huge, non-believable karate match. Should have been like John Wick 3, The Ninja, or something like that. You know what I mean? It was just fucking not. And don't get me wrong, it's not like the first two were completely unbelievable either, but there was a little bit more like, okay, I could see that. I could see that shit. But then when they tell him to go, hey, go walk in the fucking desert until the fucking guy finds you, because like, what is he? So, so the leader of this fucking hitman cult is magical now? Some Arabian genie? Get the fuck out of here.
I oh goddamn, several years ago, I seen one of these YouTube trainers come on, and he was going on about shit people's expectations when the shit hits the fan, you know. And he says, "Be honest. Just exactly how many gunfights do you think you're gonna fucking survive?"
Yeah. Seriously, let alone get into at all, period. But I mean, yeah,
These guys are arming up like they're going to be at war for the rest of their fucking lives, which may be true, but that's only going to be a couple of days.
the best gunslingers in the fucking world ended up getting shot one way or the other. So I mean, I don't give a fuck. I don't know. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy to me.
John
Um,
Wayne said that being a good gunfighter, you had to really worry about that ignorant bastard, this amateur bastard that comes up behind you.
that's yeah, yeah. That's the thing. You could be the best in the world. Somebody will fucking snake you some kind of way. It's a dirty business, gunslinging. That's why I had to hang up my hat, Tony.
Well, I don't like getting my guns dirty, so guess I'm out too.
Gotta clean them, and then there's the whole splatter thing on the front of them, and if you know, it's just a
A
mess.
goddamn burn ring on the front of the fucking cylinder's a bitch.
Yeah,
And it looks awful on stainless guns.
yeah. And if you do those contact shots, getting the fucking brain juices out of the slide and shit suck. Oh shit. Just joking, guys.
For some reason, I've been up since fucking 2 o'clock this morning.
I've slept like fuck. Me and the fucking wife. I mean, I'm sure it's unrelated, but we all slept like shit. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I was up at 2 in the morning. I was up at 4 in the morning. I was up, and then I finally got up at 5. That's it.
Oh no, I was just awake. I'm like, fuck it, I can either just lay here or I can get up, go watch Sabaton videos, which is not true. I didn't go watch Sabaton videos, but I watched the news. I see we're getting the Army to haul in baby formula, so Joe's solving that issue.
Thank God. Thank God, because God forbid that some of these bitches would have to fucking breastfeed. Or the guys that are getting pregnant now that kept their girl pussy in their womb but got rid of their fucking mammary glands. So we need to feed those kids, guys. And
Well,
some mothers
they're
are
not
fathers.
they're not going to get that stuff yet because this is for babies that are allergic to milk.
Oh wait, they've been so during this shortage, people have just been giving their kids straight milk.
I don't know.
Maybe warm milk and rice.
No idea.
I don't know how. I don't care. Um,
That fucker's got teeth. Give him cornflakes.
Hey, Gunmetal Guy says gunslinger's a hard profession. There's always a young whippersnapper like Jimmy that's gunning for the fuck cred of shooting you. But that's like how fucking like Chicago was. When I left, it was like if you fucking shoot the leader, then hey, you are the leader. So yeah, it was like fucking. It's time to get the fuck out of here.
I don't know, Sean. That I have asked myself that a couple of times.
What?
What the fuck did God put tits on them bitches for?
There's some fucking girls that transition into men and they keep their fucking girl pussy in
Not
their womb.
not enough of them to empty out the fucking stores of baby formula.
Bullshit. I would fucking argue that there's I was gonna say millions, but I might be off. Nah, yeah,
There might be hundreds.
hundreds of thousands maybe.
No.
Like how I twist your words there. I'm trying to work for the media, Tone. But yeah, I don't know, man. Fuck. There
Hey,
is,
that's
and there's some
you're
bitches.
absolute.
There's some bitches that don't want a titty feed because they don't want to ruin their titties. That's
Sean,
existed.
you talk about the small ones. God trying to tell you something. That's not fucking true. Women with flat chests can nurse. I know it because I'm married to one that did.
Yeah, it's the gland that's in there that produces milk.
She had enough for them babies and me.
Oh, you ate titty milk before? You drank
Well,
titty milk
fuck
before?
yes.
Yeah, so have I. Yeah, so have I.
It really ain't.
It's not that's gross. It's really gross, but
It
it's
was.
cool that it's coming from a tid.
It wasn't all that great. I will say that. I don't know what the fuck kids see in it.
Yeah, right? Babies are fucking disgusting. You ever ate baby food before? That's fucking gross.
Yes.
I ate baby food to try to get my kid to eat the baby food, so I fucking took a spoonful of it and I should have just nipped or faked it.
Well, see, when I did it with my kids, I grabbed fucking salt shaker first.
Yeah. Let me flavor this up. Throw some hot sauce on it. Throw some hot sauce on this fucking mushed pear.
Seriously
Uh,
though, you know, I kids when they were little, when they would balk at eating stuff, I would act like I shaked salt on it, and that fucking worked almost every goddamn time.
hey,
As
he
long
ain't
as
lying.
they're they're getting the same, stuff that dad gets, they're fine with it.
That's it. That's it. Uh, um, the fucking he says strong, independent, modern women think they are too progressive to lower themselves. Bro, be feminine and feed babies. Babies are an accessory, and both IRA investment. That's yeah. They're a check, or I've seen fucking bitches that'll just fucking like dress their baby up in matching outfits and then fucking take them out to the mall and then not wash them for a week. Like what the fuck after they get home? Like what the fuck? That
Those
thing
are
that thing was so precious to you 15 minutes ago, bitch, when you went to the mall. Now you're fucking back a couple hours later and fucking it ain't shit.
it doesn't bother me too much to see dirty kids. I mean, if the
Not
kid's gonna
freshly
play,
dirty kids. Freshly dirty kids is a different thing. But fucking, you know, hair getting stuck together, clumpy and shit, and fucking like it's like, hey man,
that's
wash that
half a day.
motherfucker. Wash that motherfucker.
That's fucking half a day with the kid. One meal, they got fucking food in their hair. You can wipe it out, but unless you're gonna hose them down 6 times a day that you feed them, they're gonna be dirty.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
As
But
long as they, ain't sitting around in soiled diapers, man, I don't give a shit if kids are dirty. But
yeah,
you ought to see the granddaughters when they're here, because this garage floor is always fucking dusty as hell. Because I don't have nothing that'll clean the dust off completely. I'm like, fuck it, don't send them in clothes you want to use a second time, because they're not gonna be worth shit when they come back.
oh god, the women's movement is killing it right now. I fucking, it's just look. It might. If there's a whole bunch of people and different races and cultures and gender that fucking can say that they had it rough when they were, like there was some kind of an oppression there or something like that. But this shit, I said it a million times, it's just dividing us more. It's taking the stupidest of the stupid, which unfortunately is becoming more and more and more of the population. They're just taking stupid people and giving them a cause to fight for. And it's like, I don't understand how you feel special when you're joining a group of other people. That is like the opposite of special. You're not special anymore. Not that you were in the first place, but it's just like people want to be special and an individual and all that shit by joining a group. And doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That group gets a lot of TV attention.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. I mean, attention. People love money, but I'm starting to think that they love attention more. I
You
don't know what
know,
the fuck is going on.
I get a kick out of it because these people with kids talk about their fucking kids are welcome to come and raid their refrigerator and all this for the rest of their fucking lives. They come and take toilet paper and shit like that. I'm like, hey, your job as a parent is to have that kid, keep it fed, clothed, and healthy until it gets to be a self-sufficient adult on its own at the age of fucking 18.
See, that's that boomer shit. That's that boomer shit. As long as the kid's
I,
alive, we did it. That you gotta teach it something. Teach it how to fucking. I mean, I know you do. I'm talking like in general though. Like you gotta teach them how to fucking like be successful in a job interview.
that's all part of becoming a self-sufficient adult.
Yeah, but they need to be taught. You can't just learn that from fucking Superman on TV or something like that.
I'm not saying nothing about setting a kid in front of a TV. I'm saying it's a parent's job to raise them to be a self-sufficient fucking adult. Keep them healthy, clothed, fed.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying that there's people out there that just think that fucking all they got to do is make sure that it survives to 18.
Well, that's the first part, yes.
I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, that is a major fucking part of it because there's been a lot of fucking baby deaths for some
But but
reason, but
but the thing with surviving till 18, you got to also ensure that it gets the fuck out on its own and survives after 18.
which means you got to teach it something.
No shit.
Men should take care of themselves and let it all burn. Don't fix the clusterfuck when it crumbles, which it will event. Oh yeah, every fucking I've said that before too. Every empire falls. This empire will eventually too.
Speaking of that, that leads right to the note that I had wrote for today.
Oh shit! Whenever you got a note, it's usually gold. So let's hear it.
I was watching various videos, and one of them had discussed the fall of Rome and the start of the Dark Ages and all that. What I want to put out there is Rome was actually quite modern. I mean, they weren't technologically anywhere near where we are, but as far as a society, they were way up there until the lunatics took over the asylum.
Hmm.
And after they collapsed, we went into the Dark Ages. What do you think is going to happen when we collapse?
um, I don't think it's going to be noticeable at first. Now, and what do you mean by in this scenario? Are we taken over by somebody else? Did we take
Nope.
over ourselves, or did this just the economy's fucking
The
shit?
whole fucking world collapses.
I don't think it'll be noticed within the first week or two. To be honest with you, I don't think that it'll really be noticed. But then it's
Well,
gonna.
I'm sure Rome didn't spring to the Dark Ages in a week or two either.
Right, yeah, but I'm thinking that it's gonna be fun. Yeah, but they knew something was going down though. I mean, we'll know because of like news and shit like that. But fucking anyway, we won't feel it immediately. But then everything's gonna just shut down. Power plants are gonna shut down. Fucking cell phone services are gonna be shut down. I don't know what satellites are doing in this situation, but if nobody's manning them, they'll shut down. I don't know.
What what happens after that? Do
Um,
we fall far enough to go back into a dark age?
at this point in time, to be honest with you, I think so because we are too divided, and I don't think that. I'm sure that there's a small group of us, but I mean, you know, there's a small group of us, but
I
fucking, I don't think that there's enough to take over the country and bring it back to where it was.
Hey
I
guys,
What's
don't
up,
think
Strike?
anybody give a fuck about that. I think everybody would be too concerned about what they're going to eat tomorrow.
sorry I'm late.
No worries. But
That will
yeah.
dock your pay.
I don't get paid for this. This is voluntary.
Duh.
Swear to God. I thought I was the only one.
You know,
Fuck.
Tony's got to be special.
What do you think, Night Strike? What do you think's gonna happen when when the world fucking crumbles?
You ever see the movie The Postman?
With with Kevin
Kevin
Costner?
Costner?
Yes.
I think it'll be like that
I could actually buy into that.
because
We won't.
that wasn't doom and gloom. Is like everything's gonna be on fire. It's just like everything just kind of turned to shit, really, and they weren't really trying to get back. You notice that?
Thing is that we're not going to revert back to the dark ages because
No.
the amount of literature that's available and people can read.
Not only the amount of literature, but the amount of intellect and the fact that people are too smart for their own things.
Well, when you
This
say dark,
generation, we're one generation away from all the smart people being dead.
Yeah.
well, when you say dark ages, I'm just thinking about
Well,
literal darkness, like the technology is going to be unusable.
when he says dark ages, he means like the times when the knights and the medieval times were. That's what he means.
That's
We're not
yeah.
going to get back to that level of technology, but we are going to lose some technology. Listen, once this country fails, okay, and it will, every country does. Think about us going from being a first world country to being like a third or fourth world country, okay, where maybe we might have some power in some areas, but most areas don't have power anymore or running water. That's what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
I'm not talking specifically this country. I'm talking globally.
Well,
The whole thing goes dead.
the
I
same
don't.
thing can apply globally too. Okay, it's just like we go. Some of the first world countries and second world countries go to being a third world country that has no power because he's generating it.
You know what though? The Vikings will get fucking rich delivering fucking baby.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. But that's how I look at it. Sure, a lot of our technology, if it comes to a point where our technology becomes useless, then yeah, we will be essentially a third world country that doesn't have any cars, doesn't have any electricity, barely has running water. That's what we're gonna go back to. Is it gonna be fun? Fuck no. But we got to be realistic. We'll have to rebuild everything anyways, and that'll take a hell of a lot of time. It may take us to get back to where we are now. It would probably take us a couple hundred years,
At least,
at least.
because there's going to be a colossal die off.
Right? There's going to be a colossal die off. There's also you have to figure that if we have to make all the stuff from scratch again, we got the video, we got the visuals on how to make everything. Okay, because we got books, we've got pictures, in books. So it's not that we don't have the knowledge; it's that we're going to have to remake every tool from scratch, and that's a pain in the ass.
But how many of us are actually going to come together and make that happen? Do you think that?
Not many.
That's what I'm saying.
Not many.
I don't know. I think when the world goes to shit, I think it's going to really fracture society.
As divided as
to-
we are right now, so you think it's going to divide us more?
Oh yes, it's going to splinter us down into almost family against family at first.
Yeah.
And it really depends on what kind of disaster that befalls humanity. Okay, if you say the biblical rapture, that's one thing. If you say just the apocalypse, that's another thing. Or nuclear war, mutually assured destruction, that's another thing.
Well,
Well,
we get
see,
into biblical shit, fucking hang your fucking guns up and all that shit anyway. Ain't nothing that none of us could do for biblical shit.
Biblical, you better pray that you were a good Catholic or whatever, Jimmy, because otherwise you're fucked.
I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm not a great Catholic, but I'm an okay Catholic, so I think I'll be fine.
Yeah.
the nuclear option is going to be bad because that's going to destroy,
Everything.
yeah, and it's going to make land and shit where you can't use it for God knows how long.
Probably 1,000 years.
So
Maybe
humanity
not that-
probably won't survive that.
I was
No.
thinking that because I was like really, really, when I was coming out to Nevada, really thinking hard about bunkers. But the thing about a bunker is that you got to come out sometime, don't you?
Well, you do and you don't. Okay.
Right. I'm
The only
listening.
time, the only time you'd have to leave the bunker is if you had to change the filters on the outside. If you had filters on the outside instead of the inside, that would be really the only time you'd have to leave, or if you had to,
You realize you've
unblock the air filter, the air intake. That's
Right.
about it.
you realize you've only got so much capacity for water, piss, and shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, most bunkers have huge septic tanks. Huge.
Yeah, I seen one that said it was good for 5 years. septic tank wise. I don't know how much. I'm
Yeah, well,
sure it
that's
could.
not for somebody as full of shit as you are.
Yeah, that's true. And I shit like 2, 3 times a day.
And Tony, you have no Tony. I don't think a bunker can hold you. Period.
I ain't living in a fucking hole in the ground. I'm about halfway there now, and I don't like it.
And somebody's gonna have to take the garbage out on at least a weekly basis, because that's gonna start to stink. Like you don't
Yeah.
want your little bunker to start smelling bad.
Well,
I mean, that,
that poses another thing for garbage. What you could burn, it would be more beneficial to have some sort of garbage burning system, installed in the bunker that would just send all the carcinogens outside and
Mm.
just
How?
so you can keep it. Well, bunkers have an intake pipe, okay,
yeah,
for air.
but if you put a pipe out for the burner,
They're gonna see you.
They're gonna see
well,
it. Yeah.
no, 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 no,
That's
no.
the only thing.
It's
What?
going to be a input for radiation.
Oh yeah, I could. Okay, I see what you're going for now. But would it though if it's constantly blowing out, and then you could
Yes.
seal it?
Well, there's ways to do it, but that is a good point. That is a good point. But the point is about living in a bunker. I mean, you're only delaying the inevitable for a certain amount of time. Okay, it's like if you could live 20 years in a bunker, great, good. You lasted 20 years longer than everybody else.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
now you got to go
it
step outside for oxygen, and then you're
yeah,
radiated,
you
right?
either have to step outside for oxygen, or you have to step outside to get supplies because you've run out.
And 20
They-
years is a long fucking like that's I if somebody told me that they survived 10 years in a bunker, I would have to like kind of see proof in order to believe it. Not that they would have to prove themselves, but I would if I was to believe it, I would need to see some proof. Like 10 years is a long that's a lot of supplies. It's a lot of shit.
Right.
That's a
I've
lot.
seen where they have mental questions about people who spend long term in the space station.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of shit to do there.
Yeah, and then
But
most people are going to be traumatized before they get into their bunker already, and then have to sit in the bunker for 5, 10 years, whatever.
well, that's if it's if these people don't have didn't bring their families with them or their friends or people to be interact with. You're talking of if somebody just has a bunker, doesn't have any family, friends, or whatever, and only goes in by himself. That's different than bringing your family with you.
Who could you stand to spend 20 years in a fucking little tube in the ground with?
Probably your spouse and your kids only.
I don't want my fucking spouse or kids in that son of a bitch.
That long? Oh my God, I would just go out and get radiated. Like, well, you know what, guys? Fuck you. I'm going.
Most of those kids you're around, Jimmy, aren't yours.
That wouldn't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I can
That
just
probably
throw
wouldn't
them
take.
out.
That probably wouldn't take but about a month.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
if they were your kids, you'd feel differently about it.
He's got kids.
I got kids too, but I'd still fucking probably end up killing myself.
I told you earlier, man. 18 and out. Mine are done.
Hey, lady, you got the fucking kids, right? Yeah, all right, I'm gone. I'm gonna see how this. I'm gonna ride this radiation train and see how it treats me. Maybe I might get superpowers.
Yeah, I don't. They tried that with spiders. This whole Spider-Man thing is bullshit.
Yeah. A bunker made out of actual caverns. Are you talking about a fucking like just living in an underground cave?
Yeah, that would not provide any support whatsoever for that.
No,
You'd
it's
have to
got
have-
to.
You'd have to have a bunker lined with lead and concrete.
Yeah. 'Cause I've thought about that too, just digging a nice little fucking 10-foot hole and
You think
putting
about
some
that,
plywood over it and hiding
since
if
you live in
anything ever
Nevada,
hits.
Jimmy, I've seen a couple bunkers for sale in Nevada that were basically old communication bunkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have they sell those all the damn time, and those are lined with lead and concrete.
Yeah, no,
So
I
you'd
know.
be
I
fine.
was that's what I was saying is when I was first like coming out here, I was looking at a lot of those. Just live in the bunker. Fuck the land. I just live in the bunker forever.
I mean, if it comes with land you can shoot on, hey, why not?
Exactly.
The hell, you'd need a bunker that's 100 fucking yards long.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
this is old communication. This is like old. He's talking about like old military shit that's not used
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, just
Probably already well irradiated.
Yeah. Let's leave a little present for the next guy that comes in here.
But yeah, but you get what I'm saying about bunkers and the viability of them. You can only stay in them for as long as you've got supplies. So you only delay the inevitable for however long you've got supplies. That's it.
You could only stay in them as long as you have sanity.
Oh, that would make me a woman beater immediately. He says there's
If
an
you're by
excellent.
yourself, yes.
He says there's an excellent documentary about blackout and how family members gave away the father's preps to strangers and caused his whole plan to fail. I would beat everybody in the house to death.
Yep.
To death. Especially if some shit happened. Oh, I'd be the only one surviving by myself. That's for goddamn sure. Everybody
you gave
else.
up my food, guess what you become?
Yeah. Food.
Expendable.
Roast bitch.
Yeah. Roasted cunt. Oh gosh. That would
But I
make
was
me
just giving my
so
take on
mad. It just made me mad reading that. Sean sent me a thing about the Soviet night witches, but I'm gonna have to save that because
That's another story.
he also sent me another thing for Reagan.
Reaganomics.
Reagan
It's
wasn't
morning
just
again in America.
got almost
Today.
nothing to do with what the speech we're looking at is talking
Today, more men and women will go to work than ever before in our country's history. With interest rates at about half the
This is the
record
Reagan
highs of
commercial.
1980.
about. I have
Nearly
never, ever
2,000
bought
families
into
today will
Reaganomics.
buy new homes. More than
That
at any
makes
time in
sense.
the past 4 years.
Really, yeah, let's give the rich more money and maybe they'll
This
spend a
afternoon,
few bucks more so it can go
500
down to
young
the
men and
fucking
women will be
poor.
married. And with inflation at less than
Yeah,
half of what it was
Let
just
the
4
rich
years ago,
pay for all the fucking
they can
government
look forward
funding.
with confidence.
There was a really
To the
good
future.
fucking meme about the trickle down shit. It was
It's
so
morning again in
Down
America.
theory, yeah.
And under the
Oh
leadership of
god.
President
But
Reagan,
there is
I
a
have-
difference.
our
There's a
country is
difference
prouder
between trickle downonomics and
stronger.
Reaganomics.
and better. Why
Reaganomics is
would we
based
ever
on
want
trickle
to return
down.
to where we were?
I know it's based
Less
on it,
than 4
but it
short
was
years
also it sounded good. Let's just say it sounded good. It sounded good
In fact, I
because
think Reagan's the first person I ever heard use the term trickle down economics.
yeah, I'm actually pretty sure you're right.
Probably.
But I mean, reduce taxes, reduce federal spending, reduce government regulations, printing less money so as to fucking solve inflation. It sounds good, don't it?
That's right, but it's when it's reduced taxes on the rich.
The rich, yeah. Once he gets
Well-
specific, it kind of eats itself. But yeah,
Well, you have to reduce the growth of government spending. You have to reduce the federal income tax and capital gains tax. And in doing so, the government gets less money. You also have to reduce the government regulation, which the government's not going to do, and, tighten the money supply in order to reduce inflation. And,
I've always kind of been in favor of
Doesn't
the
work.
whole flat tax idea
I have too. Just
because
pay a set
every-
amount and be done with it.
yeah, like you could make a 3 or 4% flat tax. That's income tax for everybody. If you make $10, you pay 30 cents.
I mean,
You
I can
know.
handle 30 cents.
If you make 10 billion, you pay 300 million.
Yeah, what's
See,
wrong with that?
that's why I've always hated percentages. It should be a fixed amount. Taxes
It
are
can't be.
taxes are $50 a fucking year, so you know what I mean. $100
Yeah.
a year, some shit.
The problem
It
is
can't
that
be because
government
then
can't run for that.
it's not fair to people who pay for
Not fair to
people
people
who
who have
don't.
millions of dollars when you only have, what, a couple thousand? If that.
Is that what you were
Yeah,
gonna
do
say?
you want Bill Gates to pay $50 while you're paying $50?
No.
Hey, whatever, man. Whatever Bill Gates does is his business. I think we should get rid of the fucking tax system altogether. I don't like people keeping an eye on my money. I don't like that anyway.
I don't either. I would rather have I know Ponry has said this too, but I would rather have a nationwide sales tax. I mean, taxes are inevitable. To
We paid. That's what I'm saying though, is that we already pay taxes. What the fuck is the point of the yearly taxes? That's just having to go into my personal business and find out what I make and what I do and all this other shit.
all right, they could put out like a 2 or 3% national sales tax. Everybody pays, and then whoever spends the most money pays the most tax.
Yeah, because then if you don't pay taxes at all, you're a fucking criminal.
If you don't pay taxes all that way, you don't buy nothing.
Well, that exactly. That way, I mean, because I already consider myself a taxpayer because I fucking before taxes are filed and all that shit. Because I pay taxes throughout the whole year already. Every time I go out and buy some shit, I'm paying fucking state tax. But so what you're saying is to spread it out to state and federal.
Making the federal tax just a fucking sales tax.
So raise the sales tax is what you're saying.
Well, in a nutshell, yeah, it would be. But
You would have to.
a 3 or 4% sales tax nationally would probably generate, and it would have to be on everything. There couldn't be any fucking exemptions whatsoever.
You're talking about a 13 or 14% fucking sales tax then. Because most places ain't it at least about 10.
No, fuck no.
Phoenix
Six
was.
and, 6 3/4 here in
Yeah.
Well,
Illinois.
you're
Phoenix
lucky.
was.
We were at like fucking 9 point some bullshit percent tax.
You guys are getting fucked when you're doing worse than Illinois on taxes.
Yeah, no
South
shit.
Carolina's 8%.
Missouri's higher than Illinois too.
I want to say out here it's like 8% too, something like that. I can't really fucking tell
I
you.
think Florida's worse actually.
Florida? Yeah, I think Florida's where I got 10% from.
Because we're talking about sales tax, right?
Yeah, everything out there was fucking more. Yeah, but everything out there was more expensive for some reason. It seemed like.
Yeah. Everything's more expensive. Florida sales tax is 6%, but it's more expensive because they have a lot of those cities in Florida have additional taxes that they tack on. They have city taxes as well as sales tax.
That's just your local municipalities fucking you over.
Yeah. So like where a gallon of milk would cost you what $2, $3, $4 where you're at, over there it's probably like 5 or 6.
5. Yeah, I was gonna say about 5.
At some point, it makes it worth it to drive to another town to buy your stuff.
Yeah.
It's like here, if you go to the one town local, it raises the sales tax to 8% because of the city tax, and then if you go into Peoria, I think it raises it to 8.5%. Fuck, I'll just buy shit from Amazon.
Right?
Till Walmart decides to send me a fucking bill for $1,000 for something I didn't order. It's all right.
Hey, when I play this, do you hear it now?
I don't hear nothing.
You don't hear nothing right now.
Men and women will
No.
go to work than ever before in our country's.
Okay. Let me see here. Go into here. I'm trying to figure out how we could watch this video without me having to fucking screen share.
Are you gonna play the Christmas truce?
Yeah. some more metal opera from Tony. Fucking
I
let's,
didn't think that Tony was into metal opera.
that's his fucking jam. I don't give a fuck what if he tells you anything different, he's a liar.
I thought he listened to country music.
That shows how fucking stupid you are.
I believe he hates country music.
I know I was making a joke there.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. 10-4.
I hate it too. So
Nails on a fucking chalkboard.
yeah. Agreed.
Well, my woman left, and my dog won't bark, and I'm drinking a beer or two. I'm trying to figure out how to share this shit so we could watch the fucking Reagan fucking video as a team instead of waiting for you guys to fucking catch up to the 30-second lag.
You could pop it on Discord and we could watch it, but
Yeah.
it would be
You
the
gotta
audience
share it on
doing it.
Discord and then just pipe.
As
pipe
more-
OBS.
As long as it's fucking, as long as it's odd, I don't give a fuck about them seeing Reagan make his cute little faces as he makes cute little jokes. I don't give a fuck about that.
Play it on your phone. Hold the goddamn microphone.
Oh God, that's the old days. The old early watches. We fucking we got some better.
No delay.
We got some better production value now than that. I think. Sean hooked the Discord thing up. Maybe.
Actually, some of Reagan jokes weren't that bad.
He's all right. I'm not gonna hate on fucking Reagan.
No, some of his jokes were all right.
Cocksucker was way too soft on Gunky.
That
Too
part.
late.
I'm glad somebody said it. Because I even seen a picture of Reagan. I was going to put a picture up instead of fucking him. It had a picture of Reagan on a Raptor with a fucking some kind of submachine gun. I probably could have told you when I was looking at the picture. But,
you know why he was because he got shot. That's why.
Yeah,
he was before he got shot.
Oh,
He was also from California, so there you go.
We're gonna get into that too, because we're gonna get into some fucking good old John Hinckley Jr. fucking music. You know, but he's a musician now?
No.
Yeah.
I heard that. I'm like, I've also heard the music, and I'm like, people pay him to listen to this shit?
Oh, we're gonna hear it. He sells out fucking concerts, Night Strike. I swear to God.
Oh yeah, the left would love him.
Yeah, the left love him because they are completely batshit insane.
You almost got him, John.
There's probably no American part of them left.
Can you hear this?
Yeah, we can hear it. It's good.
Okay. I feel like it's too loud, but it won't turn down.
Turn off the next thing. No, the one right next to it.
This autoplay is on.
Yeah, turn autoplay off.
Still nothing. I could turn it down on my headphones for sure, but fucking.
I ain't hearing shit.
How about now? You don't hear the audience roaring?
Nope.
I hear it.
You hear it?
Yes, I hear it.
So one fucking host hears it, the other host don't hear it.
Click on you in Discord in order to watch.
Thank you very much.
Tony, are you clicked?
Hang on. I don't
Click
know.
on Jimmy on Discord in the Watch or the Watch podcast. And
It's
start
slowing us down a lot too.
Yeah.
Internet connection wise. And then Tony disappears. Is he able to still talk?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was asking Night Strike, but yeah, okay. Can you hear it now?
Thank you.
Yes.
We're gonna skip to 3 minutes. What he says in the beginning isn't really important. He's just introducing himself and all that shit. I think this was for his governor run.
I think so. It was 65, 66.
So yeah, the beginning part, first few minutes, he just fucking introduces himself, and here's where it starts. Here's where my first timestamp was.
But you know, I've been protesting the growth of government for a number of years. I've had a concern lest the permanent structure of government becomes so big that it would become beyond the control of Congress and beyond the will of the people. And I have believed that this is a problem that crosses party lines. I've seen an interesting development down through the years. When I first suggested the danger of government control inherent in so many federal handouts, there were people who denied vehemently that any such thing could ever take place. And yet, before too long, the same people were saying, what's wrong with government control?
So that's good enough.
And in the recent days, we've heard representatives in the higher echelons of government ask us, well, are you afraid of your own government? Well, to tell you the truth, I am. And all of us should be.
That's a politician telling us to be afraid of the fucking government.
That should say something because the government's supposed to be fucking afraid of us.
Yeah. No shit. We're supposed to be we're the bosses.
Yep.
We're supposed to be the bosses. So I
Supposed
don't
to.
know. All right, continuing on.
Again, this was said in 1965.
65, 66.
And also too, if either one of you got something to say or you want to fucking cut it off, because I got my timestamps, but they're fucking
No.
stupid. So
Just go with what you want. Just go with what you want.
it is what I want. If you guys want to interject or hear something you want to interject, just speak up.
I may have you at some point. I may have you rewind to just comment on something.
Yeah, that's fine. Just let me know. Speak up
All right.
though, because it's blaring in my headphones. So you guys got to be loud.
All right.
All right.
And I speak not in a partisan sense of an administration or individuals. I'm talking of the institution of government. Wasn't this the admonition of the Founding Fathers, that government tends to grow, to take on power, until freedom eventually is lost? The fact is, and we can't escape it, only government is capable of tyranny. Now, I realize this is a controversial subject, particularly as we approach an election year. But then if you didn't take up things that were controversial, you'd never talk at all. There was a man knocked on a door one day, and a small boy answered, and the man said, "Son, is your father home?" And the boy said, "No." He said, "Is your mother home?" And the boy said, "No." And finally he said, "Well, son, I'm your uncle on your father's side." And the kid said, "Well, I guess you can come in, but I'll tell you right now, you're on the wrong side." In 1772, the Boston Committee of Correspondence proclaimed the right to life, liberty, and property. 2 years later, in Philadelphia, the First Continental Congress declared that Americans were entitled to life, liberty, and property. In June of 1776, the Virginia Bill of Rights asserted that all men were equally free and independent, with the means of possessing and the right to possess and acquire property. And 3 weeks later came the Declaration of Independence, a bloody war, victory, and then a new nation which would be based on a Constitution and a Bill of Rights. Life, liberty, and property had become life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And 70 years would go by before England's Lord Acton would comment on the task of these men and what they had accomplished with this document. He would say they had solved two problems which had heretofore baffled the most enlightened nations. They had prodigiously increased the power of the national government and had founded it on the principle of equality without surrendering the security for freedom and property. And it's true. Our Constitution is a contract guaranteeing the most limited and equitable government in the long history of man's relation to man. Now, however, while the national power is prodigious, what has happened to security for freedom and our right to the ownership of the fruit of our toil? The French philosopher Alexis de Tocqueville 100 years ago said the end of freedom comes when the party in power learns it can perpetuate itself through taxation.
Okay.
Well, what does happen to freedom?
Yeah.
Hold up, pause. That right there, where he just said, the party in charge. That's a play at the Democrats right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Look at the Democrats right now. Look at how they're always wanting to raise taxes, never lower them for people. And look at how they're trying to perpetuate and stay in power all the time. Okay, that's I don't know if he was talking about the Democrats specifically, but they have personified that now. And that's what I wanted to mention, because that's one point. Because good God, that's the Democrats all over the place right now.
He was talking about the Democrats then. He
Even
was
they're fighting with
He's a
themselves.
Republican, yeah.
he was a Democrat, and then not long before
He was Republican light. He wasn't a full Republican.
he was a Democrat to start with.
He ran, he was in the Democratic Party.
Right.
He mentions that in this speech too.
Yeah. So keep going. I just wanted to point that out, because that's something that needed to be said.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, then we're gonna have a lot of that in here. That's why I wanted to kind of start it before we fucking, hit the whole 1 hour mark. But yeah, because fucking there's a whole bunch of stuff in here that he says, And I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll be the first person to tell you that Reagan was a fucking actor. He's a liar. He's probably just as much of a piece of shit as everybody else. But the crazy part is that he's a politician calling out the shit that's actually fucking happening in Like, how did we not see this from the 60s or from the
Right.
80s or from the, that's the crazy part to me.
Well, you also have to look at it. He was an actor, yes, but he was also a well liked actor.
He wasn't a Democrat in '76, Sean. He was a
No.
Republican. He changed in about '60.
Yeah, he changed in the '60s when he got elected as governor of California at some point, though.
I didn't even think he stayed. I thought he just entered into politics as in the Democrat Party and then fucking switched like
Well,
immediately.
in the '50s, in the '50s and a little bit
Excuse me.
before, Reagan was an actor, in movies, and when they started doing TV shows, he did a couple TV stints too, but he was primarily an actor. And
I
then he
was in the
decided,
pictures.
then he's like, you know what? I want to try my hand at politics. So he started running for offices.
Funny, because in the beginning of this, he talks about being in really bad pictures.
Yes, yeah. That's another thing. When you're an actor, you take the roles that are given to you. You don't always, get to cherry pick the roles. So that sometimes your agent makes you play in movies that are really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like unless you're trying to be a B movie action star,
Well,
you're gonna be in some B movies before you get in some A movies.
back in the '50s, there wasn't the
There
same
wasn't a lot of A
structure.
movies.
In the '50s, you hired onto the studio, and you did what they told you.
That was it. You're
Yep.
gonna put this lead paint on your face and you're gonna breathe it in if you have to. I don't give a fuck. Just
Yeah. The laws were less lax then, unfortunately.
Little Wizard of Oz trivia for you guys. But they should. I mean, actors are not human. They're just like whatever. I don't care what happens to them as long as they keep dancing and making movies. Whatever.
They are human, but
No,
they don't act like it.
there's Slytherin. The Harry Potter reference for you guys. All right, I'm pressing play.
When the executive branch of government can use the money taken from the people in order to coerce the people. A foolish fear? Representative Glenn Andrews introduced an amendment to the poverty program on the floor of Congress. It is almost inconceivable that such an amendment would be required. It is even more inconceivable that the amendment was overwhelmingly repudiated and defeated. It was a simple amendment that would prohibit poverty funds from being used for political purposes.
Nice. So you made the fucking Princess Bride fucking reference a little while ago, right? Was that you?
No, that wasn't me. That was probably somebody out in the chat.
I
That
thought
wasn't me.
I could have swore you did that on Friday or something.
Might have been Friday, but yes,
Inconceivable. I just had to say that.
inconceivable. And
Inconceivable.
I do not think that means what he think it means.
I don't think. Yeah. I'm pressing play.
Make no mistake about it. The party in power has legislated into existence a $1,800,000,000 campaign fund for 1966. Five years ago, we reached a new frontier. And now we're face to face with a great society. And along the way, we've added $31 billion to our debt, but we've decreased our gold holdings until concern is felt for the solvency of our currency. And very shortly, the coins we jingle in our pocket will no longer have the ring of silver. But have no fear. We reached something of the height of absurdity
They already don't.
when in a press conference recently.
Yeah, I was gonna say that happened, but was that
That happened
65? I thought
long
that
ago.
happened before 65. Tony,
I don't know.
I swear
not
it was
that
like.
old.
No, I know,
It was-
but there was like certain. I remember because I had a whole bunch of quarters that were fucking silver, and the guy that I sold them to was like fucking whatever, telling me all the years and what year it stopped at and all that shit. But yeah,
Yeah, it probably stopped in the 40s or 50s, probably because of World War II.
I want to say 53 or 59 or 55.
I don't know. I'm gonna grab 64 because that's when Winchester fucked up their rifles too.
Yeah, why don't we? Yeah, let's go with that.
Maybe it was like 63. I don't know. I swear it was 63. 63's poking out in my head. But it was before 65, I'm sure. But anyway,
Right, but they may have done it in 63 and it didn't start happening until 65.
yeah.
Otherwise,
Or it had a
No,
lower percentage back then, too. It could have had a
they
lower
stopped
zinc
on
or
July
whatever.
3rd, 1965. Johnson approved the Coinage Act of 65, which removed silver from circulating coins and authorized that clad coins be used for the half dollar,
Ah.
quarter, and dime.
So he called it the year it was happening. Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah.
What up, sexy? I see you out there shaking that ass.
Hey,
All right,
man.
here we go.
Recently, we were told that the government would stand behind those artificial coins and was prepared to exchange them anytime for paper.
You know why they're laughing? Because how ridiculous that is.
Because of what?
How ridiculous that statement was.
Yeah, but then look at the ridiculousness that we live.
Oh, I
yeah,
know.
we don't even get the paper now. We just get some ones and zeros on the computer.
Yeah.
That's it.
We've discovered that every family with an income of less than $3,000 a year is poverty-stricken. At the same time, we learn that the cost of government prorates out to $3,300 per family. We reach an all-time high in food prices, as every housewife here knows. But the farmer who produces that food receives the lowest percentage of the market basket dollar he's ever received in history. And his debt in relation to income is at an all-time high, higher even than on the eve of the 1929 crash. 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago, there were no daily casualty lists. No wives and mothers receiving telegrams that began, "We regret to inform you." The last campaign found our opponents presenting themselves as conservatives in the sense that they would make no drastic change in our easy, prosperous, and affluent way. They would maintain the status quo. That's Latin for the mess we're in.
See, he has a good one.
We, on the other hand, were presented as radicals who'd bring about some cataclysmic upheaval. Well, now the wraps are off the Great Society, and a multitude of messages and legislation has made it plain we're to have the welfare state with an unprecedented federalization of American life. June 30th last, Congress raised the debt limit for the 7th time in 5 years. But our government spends $260 million a day, $10 million more each day than we were spending just a year ago. We're told that we're enjoying an unprecedented prosperity. But 42 government agencies, the government has just informed us, are spending $70 billion a year on public welfare. And serious discussion is given by men in high place in government to the idea that there is no longer any necessity to connect work with income, and that a man simply by being born should be assured of an annual income with no need to work. The ancient Hebrew book, the Talmud, tells us that for a father to fail to teach his son to earn a living is the same as teaching him to steal, for that might be the inevitable result.
Stop that a second.
Go ahead. I was gonna stop it anyway.
He just put out there probably the first instance of somebody talking about universal basic income.
Welfare.
Yep. But remember,
That's more
Social
than
Security
welfare.
was still going on during this time because it was instituted by Roosevelt.
Social Security ain't welfare.
No, it's not.
Social Security is different though now than it. Well, I don't know. Whenever I hear Social Security, I'm thinking of somebody that's like retired and already worked their
Yeah,
whole life.
there's a difference. There's a difference between the two Social Securities. There's Social Security and then there's disability.
Men don't go
There's a
shopping.
lot of people. Well, men made the money, so they knew how much they cost too. But what he's talking about is them thinking that everybody is entitled to this much money, and that's universal basic income. And he's talking about this shit in 65, 66.
Which it's just crazy. I mean, was this planned already, and he knew about it? Like, how the fuck do you have so much foresight? That's crazy.
This is what struck me so much about this
Yeah.
video is how much of what he's talking about applies to the past
Modern day.
10, 15 years.
I'm pressing play.
Our limited government with its decentralized powers has given way to planners, and they've laid an increasingly heavy hand on every facet of our lives. To quote de Tocqueville again, he warned that such a government would cover the face of society with a network of small, complicated rules, minute and uniform, and thus the will of man is not shattered, but softened and guided until the nation is reduced to a flock of timid and industrious animals, of which government is the shepherd. Well, the shepherd, the president, is fond of quoting in these days from the scriptures. His favorite seems to be 1 Isaiah, the 18th verse. Come, let us reason together. Now that has a sort of a warm and cozy sound, doesn't it? But let your eyes stray down a line or two into the next verses, the lines that are not quoted aloud. If ye refuse, ye shall be devoured with the sword. Freedom is very fragile. We've only known a few moments of it in all man's history. And most of those moments have taken place here, in this land, under this constitutional system and under our economic system of free enterprise. But freedom is also indivisible. It isn't spelled with an S. You can't elect to be partly free and partly slave. You're free or you're not free. If we ever decide we need a new Declaration of Independence, I hope we'll keep one line from the old. He has sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. Today, for every 10,000 of us, it only takes 12 doctors to keep us well and healthy. It only takes 40 mechanics and oil station attendants for every...
Stop. You gotta listen to this. This is the shit that I've been saying about how we can fucking survive without the fucking government, and as soon as you instituted federal government, that took away our freedom. Watch.
Yep.
Freedom is very fragile. We've only known a few moments of it in all man's history. And most of those moments have taken place here, in this land, under this constitutional system and under our economic system of free enterprise. But freedom is also indivisible. It isn't spelled with an S. You can't elect to be partly free and partly slave. You're free or you're not free. If we ever decide we need a new Declaration of Independence, I hope we'll keep one line from the old. He has sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. Today, for every 10,000 of us, it only takes 12 doctors to keep us well and healthy. It only takes 40 mechanics and oil station attendants for every 10,000 of us to keep our automobiles running. 37 telephone employees to keep the vast network of telephones running in this country. But it takes 130 federal employees for every 10,000 to administer the affairs of state.
Huh?
You know,
As far as federal employees, it's more than that now.
Yeah, no
I
shit.
I think this is the only time I've ever heard of somebody using the term from the Declaration of Independence, indivisible, correctly.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, you can't use indivisible properly now because everything is about division. Everybody has their own group, everybody has their own fucking whatever. Everyone has a reason to hate everyone else because they hate them or whatever. You know, it's all about division now.
It's not about people. It's about the freedom. You know, you can either be free or not.
Oh yeah, there's no compromise with that. No
Exactly.
compromise.
Or in the Declaration of Independence, you can either be independent or not.
You know,
Which
it's like,
the fucking federal government were not independent. So,
it's like the Ben Franklin quote about freedom and security. If you want security, then you have to give up your freedom. But those who would give up freedom for security deserve neither security nor freedom.
you're goddamn right.
All right, carry on.
I am. Oh, we're at 4.95 now, gas out
Yeah.
here in Hodunk Nowhereville. So I can only imagine what it's like in the cities.
Federal employees outnumber state employees in 30 of the 50 states. I don't know about yours, but that's true of California. And in California, that isn't easy. The businessman, harassed and eaten out of our substance, the businessman spends 35% of his time filling out government forms and regulations. It has been estimated.
That's like all these mom and pop shops are getting fucking shut down nowadays and shit too.
Yeah, because the corporations have gotten too big, that are competitors.
Right.
They've gotten too big, and they've been able to open up more locations and literally starve the mom and pop shops out.
Right. Plus, they are, politicians have stock in those corporations, and in order for those corporations to survive, fucking, we need a COVID-19 lockdown for several months. Carrying on.
It has been estimated that this government paperwork costs American industry $20 billion a year, which must be added into the price tag. And it costs another $7 billion a year just to handle government's end of that paperwork and to store it, and already it requires 25 million cubic feet. Some time back, to show you how this can happen, there was a little New England town that decided to get in on the surplus food idea. Now, this is a good idea. No one can quarrel with the fact that if we can raise a surplus rather than waste it, it should be distributed to those people who have need. So this little town got in on this and got its share of free federal surplus food. And then they woke up one day and discovered that they were being flooded under a great load of paperwork demanded in connection with this handout. And they discovered finally they'd put on so many new city employees just to handle this that it was cheaper to get out of the program and buy the groceries retail at the corner market. Now we've declared war on poverty. Now no one again quarrels with the humanitarian aim. I don't think any one of us want to be like the fellow that heard about the war on poverty and went right out and threw a hand grenade at a beggar. But in getting the program passed,
there's a war?
we heard a great deal about one state, West Virginia. Oh, this became a household word. This was the very center of poverty and distress and unemployment. Some of us thought that the whole war would be fought right there in West Virginia. Now the program is adopted. West Virginia gets $400,000. Texas gets $10 million. We're winning the war, though, at least on one front, on their own bureaucratic home grounds. $19,000 a year is a good salary, and it's a very high rate of pay in government salaries. As a matter of fact, there's only one employee out of 1,000 in the Department of Defense gets $19,000 a year. Only 1 out of 500 in the Department of Agriculture. But in the new poverty program, there's 1 out of 19. Gum Springs, Virginia was awarded $74,000, $54,000 for administrators' salaries, $20,000 for the poor. While one voice in government tells us that we're enjoying this great prosperity, another voice tells us that 1 out of 5 in our country is suffering from poverty and destitution. Now, if that figure's true, it shouldn't be too hard to find the people who need the help under this program. will, in my hometown of Dixon, Illinois, a committee of 10, self-appointed, beholden to no voters, has established itself and asked the government for a $38,000 grant so they can go on a search to find out if there's any poverty there. It breaks down to $10,200 for the chairman and $7,200 each for 2 assistants, and the balance will go for secretaries, mailing, office expense, and travel. In another area, more than 2,000 college graduates have been hired as a part of the program to study the culture of poverty. Now, no one disagrees with the youth portion of that program. The idea that we should salvage, if possible, those young people who, for whatever reason, have failed to fit themselves for the responsibilities of adult life. But we take over a hotel and we install there young ladies who have been lifted from destitute families, and now they're to be trained so they'll be self-reliant and can go out on their own and make a living. But while they're being retrained, they're given maid service so they won't have to make their own beds. And the program prorates out to $7,000 a year for each young lady we're going to help. There are a lot of families in this country raising fine, productive citizens on less than $7,000 a year.
Was that real, Tony?
Yep.
That he went through with that?
No, that was a program that they were.
It was before him.
It would, yeah. This was programs that they were trying to put up or did put up back in the mid '60s.
Why would they just focus on young ladies?
It was just an example.
Oh, okay.
Of the waste.
Okay, I got you now.
He's saying that it was cost them $7,200 per person a year, and there's families out there living on less than that.
Right. Okay. So that figure is real then.
Probably. I mean, I'm not going to swear to it because he's a politician.
But it's a believable number though, or it's believable numbers.
Yeah, that was back when minimum wage was probably hovering around $1.
Well, because I remember like with the whole Reaganomics thing, I remembered it was like anything under 30,000 a year was poor, or 20,000, I think, under 20,000, which I mean nowadays isn't a lot at all. I don't know. Carry on.
It all goes on how many.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carry on.
All right.
I can think of no higher, more noble purpose than to take young men and to make sure that they get an equal chance in the start in life. But we have such a program now, and we put the young men in camps for retraining, and we pay them a higher rate of pay than we give the young man who puts on a uniform and goes out to defend his country. I am sure that all of us are agreed, every responsible citizen is agreed, that we should provide shelter for those people who, through no fault of their own, lack adequate housing. And for some time, the government has provided public housing. But now those who administer the program have expressed concern after almost 3 decades of it. Concern because an entire generation has grown up, raising children. And a second and a third generation now are growing up taking it for granted that this is an acceptable way of life. And there is no incentive for them to improve themselves because to get a raise might destroy their eligibility for continuing to live on a subsidy in the public housing. And yet, never does government accept that it might be responsible with some of its programs for this trend or this tendency. No. Now we're going to have a program subsidizing rents. And under the technicalities of the program, people with incomes up to $11,000 or $12,000 a year will be eligible to live in a house or apartment or a neighborhood beyond their means with their thrifty new neighbors, taxed to help pay the differential in their rent. A variety of programs have diluted private property rights. so that public interest is anything the planners decide it should be. For generations, we've had traditional laws of eminent domain. We have recognized the occasional need of government to take a citizen's property when there is a clear and present need for that particular piece of property in the public interest. But the citizen had his day in court, first to establish that the government paid a fair price, and second, that the government should be forced to prove that there was a clear and present need. Now, urban renewal grants the government the right to force the sale of private property for resale by government to other private citizens who can then use that property to make profit. And we have averaged selling urban renewal properties to private citizens for 30% of the investment that we, the taxpayers, have in that property. Again, I say the purpose is noble. The idea of providing decent homes for every American and eliminating slums. But 1 million people have been displaced with a bulldozer and have wound up in new slums paying a higher rent. The law says the displaced must be offered standard housing at rents they can afford in convenient locations. But if standard housing at rents they could afford in convenient locations had been available, they wouldn't have needed an urban renewal program. They'd have moved there on their own.
See, that kind of fucking brings to like everything he said right there in the whole time he was talking. Like I've seen people where they're like, oh shit, I can't get paid this much, or I got to get a second job that's under the table that ain't fucking, it's cash only or whatever, so I could keep getting my check, or so I can keep getting my. I've seen that before, and I've seen motherfuckers with the HUD housing and shit. Which, by the way, the HUD housing, I knew somebody that waited for fucking, that was like homeless for a year and a half, waiting to get into fucking HUD, whatever the fuck, I don't know what the acronym is, but housing or urban development or underdevelopment, whatever. But
housing and urban development.
Yeah. But fucking, I don't know, man. I think it's all a bunch of bullshit. Like Tony, like you said a long, long, long time ago, and fucking probably since then you've said it before, but um, it's also the fucking government could depend on you, so you have to depend on the government. I'm sorry, and once you depend on the government, they have control of you. That's it. You have to vote for them. You got to fucking go along with their policies. You got to go along with everything in order to keep getting that check. So it's just it's a whole huge trap. It's 20 minutes too. Is there a certain part you want to fucking like highlight in this towards the end or something like that?
Not really. We've covered the bigger parts of what I was interested in.
Yeah, because
enough of it to tell that what he was saying in '66 was very applicable today.
Yeah, and that I mean that was highlighted, and that's crazy.
It is, but again, it's the fact that they've been saying these things for a long while, and we're just now noticing it.
Well, because it actually happened. I feel like we've been getting warned about this since forever, and we just fucking let it happen.
The thing you ain't picking up on is most of the stuff he's talking about was going on then.
It was going on then too. It's been going on continuously. People have just been blind to it.
No, it was going on then, but it's gotten worse since.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way. It can't get better because no one's doing anything about it. So obviously it's going to get worse.
What's up, Sammy? Fucking Ponnery says housing of democratically controlled codependence. Yeah.
In democratically controlled cities. Oh, I said that part out loud.
Hey, that was funny because it was years back. I want like 5-6 years back, something like that. Bless you. My fucking my wife tried to get on food stamps, the EBT shit.
Yep.
And guess what they gave her? Because she made too much money. $16 a month. I was like,
she let me knock her ass up.
That was
a lot more.
I was like, wow, that's that's almost like a slap in the face. Like, yeah, here you go, motherfucker. you waited 2 hours and did all this paperwork and all that shit. Here you go.
Yeah, but it accumulates, man. $16 a month.
So, oh yeah, you'll have fucking nothing. $160 in 10 months.
Hey, the last 2 days of the month, that $16 keep you supplied in frozen pizza.
Hey,
I
Sam.
mean, it is about an extra fucking an extra pack of cigarettes or so.
Oh, you don't get to buy cigarettes, food stamps.
No, you don't.
It depends on where you go, Tony.
Although
There's
back
plenty of Indian shops that'll fucking give it to you and mark it down as bacon or something like that for sure.
back when I was out of work and I had two little ones, uh, you didn't buy fucking chips or soda or anything like that on food stamps. You bought stuff to make food with.
Yep.
You could buy meat, flour, cornmeal. I think they would let you slide on a cake mix or something like that, but
Yeah.
no
That's about
fucking chip.
It's gotta, yeah, you're right though. It's fucking gotta be certain shit. Where is the thing? I'm trying to do the thing so we could do the. I like this. I like
The
when you can
thing with
hear.
the thing and the thing.
I like
But the
I like when you can hear. I enjoy that.
the problem with it is I can't follow the damn chat or nothing because it keeps cutting in and out.
I
Yeah.
know. I know. It's yeah. But you could get the gist of it though, kinda. Let me see if I could pull this up on its own. Yep. Sean sent me this. I played it earlier, but nobody paid attention.
Well, I gotta listen to something else. Shit.
Yes,
It's
absolutely. And I don't. I'm baffled right now that I can't control the fucking volume on YouTube. It's blowing my fucking mind. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Can you guys hear this in right now?
morning again in America.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
It's morning again in America. Today, more men and women will go to work than ever before in our country's history. With interest rates at about half the record highs of 1980, nearly 2,000 families today will buy new homes, more than at any time in the past 4 years. This afternoon, 6,500 young men and women will be married. And with inflation at less than half of what it was just 4 years ago, they can look forward with confidence to the future. It's morning again in America. And under the leadership of President Reagan, our country is prouder and stronger and better. Why would we ever want to return to where we were less than 4 short years ago?
They should have ended it with, hmm?
I got news for you.
Yeah, no shit.
Reagan's first fucking term here in the Midwest was shitty financially. I mean, that didn't start changing here until about 86.
Everything went back to the fucking. Everything is worse than the way it was. What the fuck? Now let's look at it fucking 27 years later. And everything fucking sucks.
Yeah, but if you want a job, you can go get a fucking job now. There wasn't fucking jobs back in the early 80s. Not in this area.
Yeah, it could be argued that fucking it's been difficult since this whole pandemic shit, but people are hiring everywhere now. I think that's what I heard anyway. I don't know.
See a lot of fucking help wanted signs.
Yeah, oh yeah, but are they still throwing that caveat on though that if you want the job you got to be vaccinated?
Probably.
I suppose many are. I'm sure that my local Ford dealership ain't.
Maybe I'll go apply there.
He's got vehicles in his parking lot that needs techs to look at. He told me he's got like 100 of them there that he can't sell because they need to be repaired. And I got nobody to work.
No shit. Yeah, when you're in that situation, you'll take anybody.
I'm like, I'd love to, but no. For one, I couldn't stay on my feet for 4 fucking hours, let alone fucking the whole week's work. I don't know that
Fuck.
that fucking Reagan speech was in an eerie way really eye opening because I had forgot how it was. No, we're talking old vehicles that need to be repaired before they can be sold. He's got about, God, I don't know how many vehicles he's got, 600 maybe. He's got shit that's been sitting there for 10 years.
You ready to hear some of this John Hinckley music?
Okay.
This
I gotta
one,
click on the fucking window again.
Hello, everybody.
nah.
This is an original song.
Just give
I
it
wrote
about
not
like 20
long
seconds
ago.
and look at the screen. I'm listening to it before you guys. I gotta make sure there's no cuss words in it.
Screen on YouTube.
Yeah, well, however long the lag is, should be out now.
Got it.
We're in harmony.
Christ, I still got radio
This
playing on
is the
YouTube.
majesty of love.
I'm 39 minutes
When every
behind.
You
couple
gotta catch up
settles
there,
down,
buddy.
goodness will be found.
You second, we're not going to be synced up for the end of the show.
No, it's alright. We don't gotta be synced up.
Negativity.
Well, you should. Yours, yeah, it might fuck with you, but I'll be fine.
This is the majesty of love.
The majesty of love.
So much pain, and we have much to gain. This is the majesty of love. Always find solace in you. No matter what we're going through, to rise above the world of hate, to navigate your fate. This is the majesty of love. This is the majesty of love.
Trying to go to the end to see if he'll fucking
That's god fucking awful.
belt some shit out real quick. Maybe he might surprise you.
This is the majesty.
Yeah, nah, it stays the same monotone majesty of love the whole fucking time. Oh, they should have killed this guy. Oh, well, he didn't kill Reagan, so I mean, I guess he should be able to get out eventually, right?
Oh God, that's so awful.
Yeah, they should have killed him.
Jesus Christ, Manson's song was better than this.
Manson, a lot of Manson's fucking songs.
Fucking dollars.
Oh
You
yeah,
check-
you were saying that shit earlier. That's crazy.
Third-party vendors said I ordered a couple of fucking radios that are $500 a piece.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
think-
I did not. Wait a fucking minute here. I got in touch with Walmart. Well, they'll straighten it out, but I should call my bank and stop the payment. So I called the bank and they said, no problem. Cancel your card, and then you come in and get another one today. Okay. Surprised, I figured I'd have to wait 2 weeks for it to mail. But that wouldn't be a problem because my old lady's got a card on the same fucking account. It ain't like I was forced to go to my bank to get money. Forced them to go to my bank and get another card. And I got to sign the fraudulent purchase paperwork.
Mhm.
That was my fault, Sexy. I switched over the OBS thing and I clicked a button, but I can't. It should be back on now. He said, "Why do we keep getting the wheel, the buffering wheel?" That was my fault.
Yeah.
My greatest apologies.
Don't apologize. Sign of weakness.
Yeah, you're right. I don't apologize anymore. I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
What are you, Canadian? I thought you were American.
Sorry, mate. Oh no, they
Just-
don't say mate, huh? Sorry,
no.
eh? Sorry, eh?
Just keep in mind, people, that you're getting what you pay for. Except for you two that are paid for. Sorry about that, YouTube.
Exactly what Tony said.
Gia.
Oh,
The way to solve that minute of busy signal is to go back and watch it again.
That's right. Yeah, it doesn't do that shit on replay.
No,
No,
it'll
no.
just skip it. Scotty.
But if you want to see your conversations on the side chat, you have to wait until YouTube officially uploads it for us because they got to check what all you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Hey Scott. Anybody else popped in here that I didn't say hey to? Hey.
Sammy. You didn't say hi to
Yeah.
Sammy.
Hey Sammy.
Hey.
That fucking Reagan speech was,
Eerie.
yeah, that's a good word. Eerie. I was really shocked. And the fact that I lived through that shit, I really didn't.
And then that shit was
You
going
know, I
on
was-
then, and it's going on now, and it's what he said then is still applicable today.
Yeah, and he was president for 2 fucking terms, didn't fix it.
Yeah, no, he didn't. But at least he wasn't Carter.
Well, Carter really didn't do shit either. I don't know. There's no doubt that Reagan did good for the country. I mean, the economy was bad when he took office.
Well, actually, no. Things under Carter were pretty bad because you had the oil crisis in 1979 under Carter.
Yeah, but that started in 73 or 74.
I mean, depending on how you look at it, we're in an oil crisis again.
That started with Nixon and Ford.
But our oil crisis is because of some jackhole named Biden.
The thing that's kind of surprising is that fucking Nixon's the one that took us off the gold standard.
Which is just the most. How we went along with that is just that's retarded. I mean, I don't know how much of a choice the American people had, but it's just the worst decision that you could ever make.
Or you kind of have to take a snapshot of how America was in the early 70s.
Nonetheless, it takes away from the fucking. You're completely eliminating the value of the dollar.
But you had a fair amount of people that were of the mindset of the hippies.
I couldn't put myself in that mindset, but I could only imagine that they didn't give a fuck about much. Fucking and getting high and listening to some new fucking tunes.
Thank you, Sam. That's exactly what I'm saying.
There wasn't a whole lot of thought about money.
Bitcoin standard now. Hold on. We missed a couple comments. Podcast. The country under Biden is a complete shit show, especially with him declaring war on China. If they don't remove him soon, shit's gonna get worse. Oh yeah, he's
Because Biden
worse.
said the stupidest shit yesterday. You know what he said?
What?
He said that if China screws with Taiwan, the United States will protect Taiwan. He went out and said the stupid part out loud.
So half of everything in America is made in Taiwan.
Yeah, the half that ain't made in China.
Yeah, half that ain't made in China, and that makes us think. Wait. He's gonna get us into another war because that's what the no, that can't be. He doesn't have a spine. I honestly don't think he knows what he's saying because that's giving him a spine, and we all know Biden is spineless.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a coward.
He won't fight Russia, but he'll fight China. What the fuck? Are you crazy? I mean, Russia has basically a population closer to ours, but no, you want to fuck with the billions of a billion people country? No.
Yeah.
They're smaller people.
That Russia's got nukes.
Well, you say that, but look at Sean. He's not that much taller.
China could probably whip something up pretty quick.
What the fuck are you talking about? Ponry's taller than I am.
No, that's the joke.
Yeah.
Here he is to defend himself now.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's why I wanted to say Sammy's first. And fucking, we're on the Bitcoin standard now, but Bitcoin is there's a lot of them that are still
Bitcoin,
failing.
cryptocurrency is failing because Russia started using Bitcoin to try and obfuscate their failing currency because they've been basically what is it sanctioned out the yin yang. China stopped all the miners from mining in China.
Can I
and
pull
they
a
banned
Kanye
it.
West real quick?
Go for
Yeah.
it.
Okay. You know I don't like jumping in the middle of your. I had to mention this.
You're allowed to.
Joe Biden
Bitcoin-
doesn't like black people.
Oh, thank you. Actually, you sort of stole my thunder. I wrote a thing this morning, and I actually got banned from Fox News this morning because I said the quiet part out loud. If you didn't need more proof than Joe Biden is a racist and what happened this weekend, then you're blind, you're Ray Charles, you're dead, or you're stupid. Because the fact of the matter is you in his little lizard brain, he's sitting there going, I can't help Ukraine. They speak the same language as them other commies. So he doesn't help Ukraine militarily, right? Then he turns around and he steps down because, the Taiwanese are diminutive little people. And he looks down at them and he goes, oh, you poor things. Of course we'll help you. And he pats them on the head and fucking walks away. He's a fucking racist because he thinks that the Taiwanese people are lesser than he is. He's like, no, I have to free the shit out of them because they can't do it themselves. Look how small they are.
Yeah, it's like getting compelled to help a child or a girl or something like that. Like, yeah, I know what you're saying.
I got banned for that.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's a racist. He's a prick.
Well, Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Yeah. The Bitcoin thing that I typed in earlier, the only thing I meant by that is we have given value to something intangible. This is how the dot-com bubble started in the early 2000s, and once people caught wise that they kept throwing money at something they can't touch, the market freaked out, and then we had that giant double recession, which also happened at the exact same time as the oil speculator boom, around the same time that killed the Ford Excursion and big SUVs.
Yeah.
Because oil hit $150 a barrel, and think of this, when it was $150 a barrel back then, gas prices weren't as high as they are now at $100 a barrel. And someone is going to say, well, it's because it costs more to manufacture. It doesn't matter. It was still $150 fucking dollars a barrel.
Scott saying, "Oh, Sean." So Sean gets a link. Laugh out loud. Scott, it's Sean's Discord. He can do whatever he wants.
You got nothing to say. We want to fucking hear, man.
I just wanted to put that out there. I'll leave you to it. I just wanted to put that out there.
No, you don't have to.
No, yeah, you're good, Sean.
I know, but I got to make a lot of background noise. Got to get back to work.
Oh yeah, well then get the fuck out.
I will.
Thanks, Sean.
Now we're time to go anyway.
Yeah, we're getting the fuck out of here too. So that's how that is.
I got to go to the bank and get my card so I can spend money.
I gotta go to the store because of cigarettes and poor planning.
Yeah, I gotta go run errands.
Nah, I still got 2 cartons of cigarettes in the cabinet, so I'm good there.
Poor planning. I'm looking at the ashtray right now, wondering if there's one salvageable to smoke.
I haven't smoked in years, so.
I'm proud of you.
Cold turkey.
Tony, anything you want to plug?
Nope.
Gotta grind, gotta get mine. In the hood that I claim and I slang on the double nine. Gotta find them dubs. Wanna get full, can a thug get love? What's up? Try to stay on my corner, nigga. Use a corner. St. Clair niggas don't like that. And selling them dummies, making that money. Come back, nigga, get that pap. From the 1st to the 15th, nigga smoke plenty weed, but I gotta say, gotta come up. Put my rocks in the cup. Wanna get high, nigga, blaze that blood. Time to roll to the bag. Count on my profit and add it to the stash. Gotta watch my backseat for niggas that's trying to rob me, fool. But never no shows and no losses. Don't be keeping these niggas up off me. See, coulda sold a whole block, spend a couple bills, thug, smoke a lot of weed on the fur. Wake up, it's wake up, wake up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, wake up, it's wake up.